Hello everyone and welcome back to Axon Gamers. Today it's time for another pickups and with me I have Mario, so that's gonna be cool. Now we can talk together and also quite a lot actually of the games that I got back in, what's the month? April?
Yes.
Yes. Are games I got from you. So there's that too. So let's get to it. Woo! First up is obviously Persona 5. And I've showed this before in my finished video for Persona 5. And this is the case I showed you in that video. However, this is actually a promotional case. So this is not how the game looked when I bought it.
Yeah, that's strange. I didn't notice.
So it says pre-order, but it's basically the original art with like the same spine and everything. It says for display purposes only on the back as well.
That's interesting.
But this is where I carry my disc because it's a very handy, usual case. It fits in the collection as well. But I did get the Take Your Heart Premium Edition, which comes in this big box. And one of the things when I got this is that I really like this art. I think the key art for the game is pretty amazing. And in here you do not get that case. So that's also
that's right.
why I really wanted this. This was something that was gonna get thrown away after the game was actually released, so was no problem me taking this home.
So you just got it from your store then?
Yes.
All right.
So in this edition here, I'll just show you the back too. Some nice screenshots of the game and everything. We have the real box, so that's just a sleeve of some kind, and the box is actually pretty cool. You have the protagonists of the game, and on the back side we have the remaining characters, so if you're sensitive about spoilers, you might want to look away. So this is the other side, and that's it, I guess. So welcome back. And yeah, nothing really on the inside because I unboxed this a while ago. The contents of the box is a sound selection, so this is quite a lot of tracks actually. Now I haven't looked at the back of this or listened to it because I have the full soundtrack, but this is almost 20 songs, 19. So yeah,
That's a mini soundtrack.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You listen to the soundtrack a lot as well, right?
Yeah, well, on YouTube for sure.
Great music.
Yeah.
And right, a art book as well. I did not look in this until I did beat the game, and whenever I did, when the game was the most exciting to me, I have seen all the characters and everything. This was a blast to go through, and I think the cover is very nice too.
So how far would you say it covers, if we're talking spoiler-wise?
It's probably... there are a few bad endings you can get in the game, but there's one major one.
Right.
And this is where I think the halfway point is, where you've done everything the group is supposed to do at first, but then there's some pretty nice twists. So yeah, I think that's it. But that's already 60 hours for a lot of people. Yeah.
So it's a far.
I think you might as well play through the rest before you look into this.
Yeah, it's not like you're in a hurry by that point.
Yes. This plushie also, a Morgana plushie, or Mona if you prefer.
Yep.
It's well made.
I think it's
fair enough.
It's usually when you get these pre-order items, when it comes to figures and such, they're not in too great quality. I know that I've heard the 2B figure for the Nier Black Box, for example, was not really the best condition.
Very unfortunate.
And if you compare it to Bravely Default,
that's
in the European release,
another very bad one. Oh well.
Yeah, but
so
I think it's nice.
Yes, definitely. And the last item in the box is the steel case, and it looks like this. I think it's a very, very nice looking steel case. But the slipcover on these is something I do not like. These are, if I'm gonna carry the game inside of this, this is too wobbly,
bothersome,
and also I'd rather keep this in as good shape as possible. So
it's too decorative.
That's why it's very nice to have another place to just keep the disc, I guess. But also, I know from work that the original game doesn't come with a manual, but this does. So I mean, that's
strange.
That's pretty cool with the artwork from the original game.
It's just 2 pages. What is it? It's
just says the bottoms of the game usually. This
not
doesn't.
Even that. It's
no,
just,
it's just
warnings,
warranty and technical support. But on the back here, this is some artwork I've seen online quite a lot. It's a very nice picture.
That's a cool. There's a cool story behind that art because Sojima, the artist, actually had a live stream where he drew it in front of everybody.
Really?
So you can actually, it's still on YouTube, so you can actually watch that in progress.
That's amazing.
Among other art he made for the game. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice.
I just want to mention now that we've gone through this whole Western limited edition box because I own the Japanese version.
Right.
And just to compare real quick because I'm sure somebody cares out there.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest, I own the Japanese version, so I mean...
is that
I think
also called the Take Your Heart? Or is it
It is
something else?
called Take Your Heart, I believe. But I like this edition a bit more, just because it comes with so much more art displayed on it. For example, as you said, you have the key art for the game on a very higher resolution when...
Oh, right.
Because you usually get it on the game box, which is way smaller.
Yeah, this looks very good in my collection. I have to agree. It's a very nice way to see that.
While as the Japanese one, you only get the logo for
the Phantom Thieves logo.
Phantom Thieves logo, yeah. You do get that really cool art, which you have on the steel case, on the box, on the back as well.
Yeah, this is the back of the box of the Japanese limited box.
Which, that art is really cool, and that's the only thing I prefer with the Japanese one, because the steel case sort of ruins the picture a bit, because it's too shiny, and it removes a lot of the detail, which you usually would see if it was just great.
Yeah, you have to look at it in the right angles to kind of appreciate the whole picture.
Otherwise, you got more things too as well in your box. You got the Mona plush, and you got the bag as well.
Yes, that's something I haven't showed you yet, and I won't because I'm using it. So that's the bag, but it's the exact same that the main character has in the game. So if you play the game, you know how it looks. Also, the inside is really well made. It's
the same texture as the pants, right?
Yes, it looks very good and it feels very nice. It's a good bag. So I don't just wear it for swag, but also because it's a good bag. So
yeah, sure.
Why not, right? And last, I just want to show you the inside of the steel case, which I think is very beautiful.
It's just art of the Phantom Thieves, right?
Yeah, it's in their costumes.
Yeah, it's really cool.
A bit spoilery, I guess, but whatever.
I mean, you can barely see it from the camera, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
You get the image at least. It's really cool. So, I mean, would you tell... If somebody had the chance to pick up the steel case, would you tell them to do it?
Just the steel case... if it was the same price, sure. I mean, just get the game in whichever way you can. However, the Take Your Heart premium edition, I very much believe is one of the most price-worthy editions I've ever bought, because if you import this from Canada over at Video Games Plus, a very good site, this would be somewhere around 67 euros. Whereas,
that's really good, yeah.
Because the Canadian dollar is so good. For a box like this, that's freaking amazing. I got it for around 90, which I still think is an amazing price.
Yeah, I mean, you got it in Sweden, so.
Yes.
But 67 Canadian dollars.
Yeah, I think that's what my friend paid for this. But I think he got it at release date. Just barely. So that's good as well.
It's like you said, just pick up the game.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter which version you get. It's really
absolutely
good.
So that's enough Persona for this time. We'll be sure to get back to it eventually. But the next box I did get is this one. So just one more unboxing before we move on to the games. So I did get the Daigakuten Saiban limited edition, or if you can translate what the box is actually called, but I guess it's like the limited edition or whatever. But this is so cool because I have every game in the series and I played most of them. I'm still on my way through 6. But this is the one game I never bought because this is only in Japanese. All the other games are in English now, but this is not. So I never had like the urge to actually buy it. But my friend did pick this up when he was in Japan, just because it looks nice and it was a good price. And now that I finally had the last games, this was the only one I didn't have.
Right.
So this was a gift from him actually. He felt that this completes my collection, and we've been giving things back and forth every time, like we always do. So he thought this was more natural in like my collection, and I'm very thankful for that. So thank you a lot. And the contents of this is some really nice stuff as well. But let's just show you the box again. I think the cover for Daigaku Saiban is a very cool one, and to have it displayed in this long box, you know, like Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Yeah,
was that like that as well?
Wasn't that even smaller?
That's a small box, but it's still like a long.
It's pretty tall.
Long box. So to compare, here's the original case. Still very nice looking. I really like this cover. I think it's great, and like you have a little bit of Sherlock Holmes and stuff going on there. It's probably the reason we haven't got it, because of him.
Yeah, because of licensing issues.
Yeah,
with the character.
So some more Sherlock for you. This is another sound selection. Pretty typical for your editions nowadays. Usually comes with these. And just some clean art on the disc and the back of the artwork thing. Nothing too special, but the music in these games are usually very good. And I heard nothing but great stuff about this one in particular, so this is something I will listen to eventually. And there was also an art book inside of the box. These, like I said, I usually wait with looking through these, but I have taken a good look in this one, and I have to say, all the character looks so cool. It's a huge step from the other games, not just in style or era, but I mean
the quality of the art.
Yeah, it's a huge step in another direction. Like the female character, who's I guess is supposed to replace Maya. She looked a bit bland at first, but I really appreciate this like
the process they went through to
get
the design.
It's pretty awesome actually when you get to see this and start to appreciate the artwork. And here's Sherlock. I suppose he's like one of the best characters in the game. We have our fan favorite with Miles Edgeworth from the other games, but I think Sherlock is probably like the best.
Is he there to replace Miles Edgeworth, or
no?
Is he...
But I think he gets the same treatment in terms of like screen time and stuff.
Right.
I guess our friend Tay actually played this game, so maybe we can ask him.
I mean, to fill you up on some backstory of the game, it's basically what has happened now is that they split up the development teams in two, because you have the people who work on Yakuza Saiban 5 and 6,
right?
And you have the guys who made Layton versus Phoenix Wright, who made that. That's what I believe, because as you said about the artwork, they're different because it's two different artists working on it.
This looks much similar to that game.
Yeah, it's the same artist as 4 and Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Yeah. So I think that's the different kind of team working on that, while the other ones are working on 6. But don't quote me on that.
No,
that's what I believe.
That's an interesting thought, and it's probably true. Because 5 and 6 are very different. For the better to me, but yeah, take that with a grain of salt.
But it's pretty good, because people often complain that 4 felt a bit too different.
Yes.
And I
think there was a necessary change, actually.
Yeah. In the end, actually, because it's been 3 games. But what I'm trying to say is that maybe they just want to have some free reins, and so they made Daigaku Saiban as this spin-off series, because they wanted to be able to do those different things without breaking the Phoenix Wright
yeah, that's the thing. If they're not going to change like the entire setting, they will have to keep Phoenix Wright around somewhere.
Exactly.
Or the possibility to have him around in a DLC or something. The fans would just keep asking for it. So
right.
This was good.
It's impossible to remove him otherwise. But yeah, and the 5 and 6, I bought those for you.
Yes, you did.
So yeah,
thanks again.
It's me and Eldon's efforts that this collection has become so nice now.
Finally, those were really missing. I thought it was a bit sad when we only got Dual Destinies, which turned out to be my favorite in the mainline series. Only digital.
That's what I wanted to get at too, because it's really sad that only Japan got the physical release.
Yeah, it's weird because it's definitely up there as one of the best, and that's probably the reason I never got into 6 too quickly, because it's just not the same getting a game digitally.
Yeah, I understand.
Moving on. Let's see where we start. I have a bunch of PS4 games, so let's save those to last. First up, the one and only Vita game. This is Atelier Charlie Plus. I did mention that I got Aisha and Eska and Logi.
Yep.
Those 2 games for PS3. And this is the sequel to those, but on the Vita.
That's perfect.
And I heard you can play these in any order you like. The characters I grow to love in this game will probably be in those games too, so it's like whatever. However, the Vita might be the right place to start. I don't know. It's just good to have this, and as always with Vita games and JRPGs, they are quite limited, so I felt like picking this up before I decide what to do, how to play them, or whatever. But it's just nice to have this. Something I usually do not do with games, but for these Vita games, I kind of have to.
It's sad when they're so scarce.
Yeah.
People always sell them for a ridiculous price.
Yeah, that too.
But what I feel like you should do, if you want my professional atelier opinion when it comes to that, I feel like you can. This is just if you want. But start with number 1 and then just walk yourself through the whole game or series, because they always have these threads going through all of the games, which is pretty nice to see. You see all the characters develop from the first game to the last. Or if you want to do the opposite thing where you pretend that the first game is some sort of prequel, then you can do that too.
That usually works surprisingly well for many games, but might play them more in order then.
But yeah, then again, a Vita game is always fun to play.
Yes.
Especially when it's portable. And that game seems to be probably one of the best in the series so far.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and that's why I just had to get it, because reading up on these, I've grown more interested in the series, and this one seems really good.
Yeah, definitely.
So next up are the Switch games, and the Switch is becoming the system, I've talked about it a whole lot on the channel, and I really like the system, but I'm starting to lose interest because there are not a lot of real games on there. We keep having these multiplayer games and indies and more multiplayer games and party games, and that's the thing. We have competitive multiplayer games, but also games you play for fun. And I'm one of those guys who really want to play games for the experience. And there's not a lot of those there. And the best one, which is probably Breath of the Wild, is also on Wii U. So the system is a bit rough right now. So I did what I could to get my fix for the Switch. I'll show them in order actually. So this game came out. It's called Has Been Heroes, and I believe it's made in Flash.
Don't look at me on that, because I don't know anything
So the
about
thing
it.
is, this is a roguelike game, but it's not turn-based, but it's kind of time-based. It's a it looks like Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 because you see from the side, but the enemies move closer to you at all times. So while it's not turn-based, you have to attack. In the right time, because every enemy move in a different speed.
Right.
So the fastest enemy you have to defeat first.
Right.
And keep track of that. So it's an interesting game because it gets harder and harder the more you play.
The concept is very unique.
But it's very very basic. because while it's super fun to play, and it gets like more interesting the more you play, because you get more characters, more abilities, and as usual in roguelikes, it's not about the adventure or the level designs because there are no levels, but it's all about the gameplay. And this game really has some fun gameplay to it, but that's where it ends. That's it basically. So this is a game that retails for $20.
It's not much.
Physical. So I felt like if I could get a game for the Switch for cheap and just have a bit of fun with it. I mean, it was a like instant buy. so that's it. I'm not sure how well I can recommend this to everybody, and I know everybody's looking for games. But if you enjoy roguelikes, this is an interesting one actually, and it's quite challenging too. So if that's something for you, then check it out.
Here's my thought on that though,
Yep.
because you said it's cheap, but I don't feel like it's worth paying if it's just gonna be,
Yeah.
you know, basic gameplay.
Yeah, absolutely, and I agree with that to some extent. That's my thought on digital games. $20 is still $20, and I mean, in the long run, it's going to be a lot of money for something you just buy digitally and just leave there on the hard drive or even erase. But I could probably get back 15 for this. So at the end of the day, it's not a lot of money.
That just feels like a circle that doesn't have any.
No, but if I
gains basically.
See, it's just a good way for like for very cheap getting more fun with your system, and also just try something new, I guess. And I did enjoy this, and I will keep it. So there's that.
It's I mean, Switch's drought period now, so I understand why people would go for it, but even still,
that's where I started. I told you all that is the reason I did buy the game.
Right, so that's what I mean. That's the only reason why you would buy one of those games for now. But.
It's a shame, really, but I'm happy I did buy it and did try it because it was actually pretty fun.
Yeah, alright, cool. Then maybe that was a good thing.
Yes.
Alright, cool.
If it was more expensive, then...
Yeah, it wouldn't be as enticing.
Yes.
Alright.
Next up is a game I got from you. The game is... I believe it's Ikenie Toyuki no Setsuna, or I Am Setsuna. It's a JRPG that came out for PlayStation 4 and Vita, digitally in English. And while it did come out in Japan physically, the difference is that this Japanese copy is in English. So this is the only way for me to own the game and play it in English without having to buy it twice.
Yeah.
So just that thought alone was very interesting because, like, I'm not too big on collecting for the sake of collecting, but this is one of the things I really like to collect. And also, I have been playing this and the music is really, really good. That's probably the highlight of the game. It gets better the more you play, as most games do, but it doesn't grab you from the start, I feel. And that's one of the game's flaws, that you start playing and it looks good and it sounds very good, but you have to give it like 4 or 5 hours before it really grabs you. So if you get this game and you feel like I just said, like it's not grabbing you, keep playing because it's a great game. And I haven't finished it because Persona 5. but yes, definitely good, and I will talk more about this when I do finish it. But for now, it's similar in gameplay to Chrono Trigger, like in the battles. It also reminds me a bit of Grandia 2, but then again, Grandia 2 took a lot from Chrono Trigger, so there's that.
You can fill me in on this now because I haven't asked you too many things about the game because I haven't been paying attention to that specific game. It's so is this made by the same people who made Chrono Trigger, or is it just like a spiritual successor somehow?
No, it's so there's these new guys working at Square Enix, like the Tokyo RPG Factory, or something. It's a new team. They're going to do these RPG style games, and I think Square Enix put these guys together when Bravely series did so well.
I see.
Because they wanted a specific team for RPGs.
All right, cool.
So this is their first game, really.
And they're working on something else now?
And that I do not know.
All right.
But I guess a good way to start is Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
Like
so
that's
working off from Chrono
yes.
Trigger is a good idea for classic RPGs.
For sure. And the whole idea was to make it classic.
Yeah.
We want to make it like classic RPG. So
I'm actually happy now that you mentioned that if that's their approach to making the game, that they didn't go for the whole 16-bit kind of look and or even 8-bit kind of look, and giving it that chiptune soundtrack.
Yeah.
I know that, I mean, a lot of people love chiptune. I love chiptune too, but when you make new games and you have the ability to make something greater than what you could back then, then you should always try to strive for something better. And now we have this really amazing piano soundtrack with great compositions and everything. So you should be really appreciative about their work there.
And also the graphics are the same way. Like they didn't try to make it look bad.
No, they actually put some
to give the retro feel. They manages that with the camera angles and everything instead, which I think is much better.
The designs work actually good in that huge overhead view. Yeah. Because it's much like Brave Default, because we made that comparison. They're a bit chibi in their appearances, but it works because the angles is so far up. I don't feel like they're too chibi.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
really.
It's just like Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Trigger also has a bit bigger heads if you look at them from that angle.
Yeah. Sure. Yes, most definitely. Specifically the word map, or in general.
Yeah.
I see. So that's it for Setsuna, I guess. So next up is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I freaking love this game. It's a hard one to justify, unlike Setsuna, I guess, because that really came out to be a good one in this pile. But like Has Been Heroes, this is the game everybody buys because we need more games, and this is the Wii U game with the DLC.
Right.
So it's the complete version of Mario Kart 8.
It has more content though.
Yeah, there are 2 new characters, or 2 or 3, but like it's not a whole lot.
What about battle mode?
Battle mode is brand new as well. I haven't played that because that's usually not what we're doing nowadays. We've been playing this co-op, like 2 people on the same Switch, and also with each and every other Switch together, and even online and offline on the TV. We play this in every way possible. And still we haven't even tried battle mode, because this is so much fun racing.
I understand.
They added another level of drifting in this one. So when you drift, you can power up from a blue flame to a red flame. Yeah. And in this one you have the purple flame.
Oh wow,
so
I didn't know that.
If you do not let go of the drift, so if you're really good at the game, you can get a bigger boost. Which makes it more rewarding for us veterans of Mario Kart 8 to keep playing this game and actually get this version. Because we do keep playing the tracks we know and love, but mastering them again with new tools.
That's actually a good approach to that.
Yes,
as well.
Really. And the drifting and what's it called? Like the power slide, I guess. That's what separates like newcomers to veterans. That's what really makes you good at these games. Right. So that's another layer of depth for me and my friends.
You notice on my face when you said power slide, my face went blank. I was like, wait, what is it referring to? So that's the clear line between a veteran and a new guy.
Yeah, sure. But we who played this for the Wii U so freaking much, that is a new thing for us to master, and it's very competitive once again, cool. Thankfully. So really love that. And also, just something I want to mention real quick, is that we never use the brakes ever in these kind of games, because you never do. Yeah. However, if you're gonna drift like sideways for a long time, you're gonna bump into a wall eventually.
If you're too fast.
So if you hold the A button to like go forward, and you drift, and while holding both of these buttons, also press the brake, you're gonna still move forward, but in a slower speed.
Right, so you get the momentum.
So yes, so you can keep drifting, but like brake so you don't hit walls, and keep going to charge up your purple flame. So when you let go of the brakes, you get this huge boost
Right.
to recover from the brakes.
Very smart. Yeah.
It's amazing. So there's that. Very happy with this one, and while I can still not justify the price. I really cannot, because this is a full price game. It's everything between 60 and 70 euros. A lot of money for the same game, especially if you already have it, which I do, and the DLC, which I paid another money for. So yeah, that's the thing. But if you did not get this for the Wii U, this is perfect. Then I think all of a sudden that this is very much worth it. It's the same great game with all the additional content and more. So good stuff.
It's the thing that you said last year was also interesting, because not many people did own the Wii U, even though they were Nintendo fans. So I think the price is justified in that way. But even then, like, I'm just trying to find a reason why they price it that way, because I feel that it could have been a bit less as well. But I mean, they probably know that the Switch doesn't have too many games right now, so they're probably gonna try to sell as good as possible as well. Yeah. So you're doing this for Nintendo's sake as well. If you're pulling out the money for it, then you're probably helping out Nintendo a great deal, because right now they don't have many games. And I also feel like, for me, as somebody who doesn't play a lot of the Switch, I feel like this game is probably one of the better games to show off the capability of the Switch, because it does everything that the Switch promises on. And plus, when you see the graphics, because it's the thing you said all the time with, like, oh, is this possible on a handheld?
Yeah. And apparently it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the coolest thing, because when I saw it on a handheld, I was like, okay, so now this is the next level. I own the Vita. I know how good portable games can look on the Vita as well, but it doesn't come close. And plus, it's a racing game, and racing games always are a step above all other games in terms of graphics.
You have the 60 frames per second, which makes it even better. It's already a 720p game with like all these amazing graphical effects, but with that screen, it looks just even better. So it's pretty amazing.
It's very, very cool.
What can I say? There's a lot to say about the game. I didn't at first, like, this is... I picked it up, and I said that this is basically the same game.
Yeah, but now you realize that...
There was still quite a lot to say, so...
That's a good thing about discussing certain topics about games, because you can actually realize a lot more about the games than you knew originally if you talk about it. Yeah, so definitely. But I feel like if I was to buy a Switch now, I'd probably buy it with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, because... It's a really fun game.
You did play with us.
Yeah, so that's where I started feeling it, and feeling how the control felt playing that game and everything. It's great. It's really good. I feel like that's the penultimate Switch title right now. Even better than Zelda, I'd say. Yeah. For me.
I agree. But let's not
no, we don't have
get
to go
into detail.
No,
but yes, for sure. Right. So, there are two more games before we delve into the pile of PS4 games. But first up we have Fantasy Life for Nintendo 3DS, and this is so funny because a friend of mine, the one who gave me Dygactus High Alden, he does not like level 5, and that's a topic we've been talking about a lot recently.
Strange.
He's having a very hard time getting into these kind of games.
Right.
He tried Yokai Watch and many others, and like they always have this gimmick, and they can be very hard to get into sometimes. I know for sure. And this is so funny because this is a game that I've been thinking would be hard to get into. So for me to pick this up at that time, it's just funny like that, because I don't know, this feels like a very ambitious game.
Yeah.
And it's gonna take a while to get used to, I guess. But so a friend of mine, the funny nerd, Leo, this is one of his favorite games ever. So I did get Stella Glow after his recommendation, and if he recommends another game on the same console, it has to be good.
Yeah, it's a guarantee.
So I really had to get this. I found it for 15 euros, brand new. So I felt like, hey,
that's a really good deal.
Yeah, why not, right?
That was during the time you had a great sale in EB Games, right?
Yeah, like we had Fire Emblem Conquest for 19, I guess.
Yeah, $90. Wow, that was a really good deal.
Pretty good.
But yeah, I mean, because I haven't looked into Fantasy Life too much, but Level 5 developed Dragon Quest 9 as well.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
I feel like this is sort of the spiritual progression
I think so too.
of Dragon Quest 9, because it has this, like, you create your own character and you have the ability to choose to be whatever you want in this little fantasy world.
Yeah.
And you're not the hero this time, right? You're supposed to be like a civilian during the time of a crisis.
Yes.
It's
more like that.
It's an interesting concept.
It's cool how it's so heavy on the RPG elements.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm gonna go into this not expecting like a great story or anything, but more just have fun with the gameplay.
Yeah.
I've been very scared to get into games like Skyrim.
Yeah.
For that reason, games that I know are more for the gameplay than anything else. And Leo did say that this is basically Skyrim.
The Japanese Skyrim.
Yes, so that's a very
on a portable console.
Yeah,
very like the Switch. Like the Switch, guys.
True.
Okay.
Interesting. No, but we are gonna get that, and I'm gonna try not buy it because I'm really not interested.
I understand.
But we'll see.
At least
my Skyrim fix with this.
Yeah, exactly. But just I think since you have all these jobs and stuff you do, all of them are very like detailed, like made in great detail. So you have like,
right.
Let's say you become a swordsmith, then you have like a lot of elements to that, and then you become an adventurer, and there's a whole different gameplay style to that. So you do different things all the time, and you switch around. And I think I don't know much about the game, but I feel like that's the idea of the game, that you actually get a lot of value for each job you do.
Well, that sounds great, because in, say, Bravely Default, you got new jobs and you max them out, but then you're done with them, and you really don't care about them too much.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a different view to each thing then.
So that's it for Fantasy Life, but like you mentioned, that's the sale we had.
Mm-hmm.
I did pick up a few cheap games just because, but I did have a reason for each and every one of them, like why I bought them. It was just not the price alone. So for this one, which is Quantum Break, this was less than 10. I believe it was like €8 sealed. That's just the crazy things you find during these sales. And this game is exclusive for Xbox One, and this console I haven't been using too much lately. I always play it somehow, because they're always like a game with backwards compatibility, or indie game, or like digital games. There's always something to play on it, but I rarely buy games for the system. So when I saw this, I felt like for the price, why not, right? And who knows? This is made by the same developers who made Alan Wake, which I did play and finished, and I wasn't the biggest fan, but I still enjoyed the game. So this could be one of those that I just play and enjoy, hopefully. But also, like, for the collection, this is one of the games I wanted to get when it came out, because it's like one of Xbox's games. They don't make a lot of more games nowadays even, so it's just great to have this, but we'll see what I think about it when I do get around to it. Any thoughts?
Well, I'm not an Xbox One player, so I feel like it's cool that it's an exclusive still. I guess they got funding. Was it Microsoft that developed the game, or was it?
No, they're called Remedy.
Yeah.
But Remedy made games for multiplats before, so this has to be some kind of like deal with Microsoft. So that's a good thing, because those games usually have like a higher budget and are usually very good in some ways. Tales of Vesperia comes to mind.
Okay, so that's actually another topic, but I want to know, do they get money from Microsoft to develop Tales of Vesperia?
I'm pretty sure they did.
Okay, because I have no idea if that's the case or not.
I'm not sure actually, now that you mention it, but I really believe so.
Because it was only exclusive for a year, so they got money to make it.
They probably got money, because why would it be exclusive otherwise?
Because the first period of the Xbox 360 sales time in Japan was actually pretty good until the PS3 started to catch up. I think because it was easier to develop on, and also it came out before the PS3.
Not the 360, yes.
Yeah.
But not the game per se.
No, but I mean the 360. So I think a lot of next gen projects started on that.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, this is not a history lesson. I'm just speculating.
Yeah, it was just a comparison because there are many more games like that. Like when you have them on a system and that system alone, they usually get a special treatment. So yeah.
Is it called Quantum Break? Quantum Break?
Quantum Break.
Yeah. It's what's that other game called on the PS4 that is also kind of an adventure game, and you go around and you have a lot of story, and you play as a ghost. Like first you had come on. Breaking Rain, Breaking Bad. No, what is it?
Heavy Rain?
Heavy Rain.
But you do not play as a ghost.
Okay, no, but that's the other one.
Beyond Two Souls.
Right. So what I feel is that this game is an answer to Beyond Two Souls.
Okay, if this game is anything like Beyond Souls, I'm gonna love it because that's...
It's called Beyond Souls.
Beyond, that's the name of the game, with the subtitle Two Souls.
Okay, so it's... Okay,
because it's about two souls, like the dead character and...
Spoilers! He was dead all along?
Actually, it's like...
I'm just kidding.
No, just quickly.
Okay, go on.
Beyond is about a girl, and in her mind, she hears voices of like a character.
Okay.
But she learns to take control of this character.
Okay, and this character is beyond the grasp of reality, and her name is Beyonce.
No. Sorry.
And this is beyond stupid. Is that the thing?
Yes, kind of.
Alright, good.
Let's move on.
So
So where do we go from there? Let's see. Delving into the PS4 games. First up is Batman Arkham Knight, and this is a game I did have on the Xbox. But this is a funny story because this is one of those games that came with a €40 season pass.
Okay.
So on top of the price for the game, if you wanted the complete experience, you had to almost pay full price again.
Alright.
So during the sale, we had the Game of the Year edition, which comes with the season pass for €9.
Wow, okay, well.
Yes.
That's better than $40.
So I traded in my copy for Xbox One, for which I got €6.
Oh, wow. So
and I got this. So, and also, like, the PS4 usually plays games better, so there's that too. But this was a great opportunity for me to upgrade the game and also get the season pass. It was next to nothing. So
you like the Batman Arkham Asylum games?
Yes, I really do.
So, but did you buy the remake or the remaster on the PS4 as well?
I have not done that. I heard mixed things about it.
That's what I was wondering about.
But as far as this game goes, this is the complete opposite. The remasters are a bit wonky in terms of performance, but this is like one of the best looking and performing games on the system. It's a solid 30 frames per second, so it's not like buttery smooth.
No,
but it compared to what it looks like, because it has all these like beautiful rain effects and stuff. It runs very nicely.
You guys have to keep in mind that Batman is also based on a comic book, and that is drawn one panel a second. So it's also an improvement because it's 30 times better now. So keep that in mind. I mean,
60 would have been too much.
Yeah, because I mean, you're not flipping through a comic that fast.
Moving the story forward too fast.
Wait, there's one more thing about Batman Arkham series.
Right.
So when I played Batman Arkham Asylum,
you did.
I did.
Okay, cool.
Not all the way through, but I played quite a bit.
You and me both then.
Okay, good. So here's the thing. I was playing Atelier Rona. Because you had an Atelier game. Yeah. I was playing that at the same time, so I just loved the contrast between those two games.
Yeah, that's a good contrast.
I want to mention still that even though Arkham Asylum was really amazing and it was super cool and it felt like Super Metroid in 3D. And
it really
Batman.
does. I was gonna say Metroid Prime, but yeah.
Oh well, yeah, Super Metroid in 3D is Metroid Prime, so it feels like Metroid Prime. But I still liked Atelier Rona better. She's a way cooler protagonist than Batman.
I did play that as well on PS3.
And you would not agree.
But not on the same time. It was much later that I played Rona.
Alright. Well, it's just my fascination with Japan, I guess.
I guess.
Anime. Fuck. Wait.
Right.
So let's go on to the next.
Speaking of anime and comics, there's also this Telltale game for Batman. I haven't got that yet, but will probably eventually.
Backpack. Let's see it.
So next up, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided. I did enjoy the game for the Wii U, which is like the complete edition of the last game. And so I knew that this is probably gonna get a complete edition as well.
Mm-hmm.
So no reason to get the like first edition or day one edition even.
Right.
However, this was another one of those super cheap games. So what was going through my mind was that if I buy this for around $10, I could get the remaining DLC if I would want to, and still not pay a lot in the end.
It would be worth it.
So this is a good opportunity for me. Instead of paying more than this for the complete edition, if there would eventually be one, I could get to try out the game for a good price. And if I do like it, then I could get the remaining afterwards. But while I didn't finish the game on the Wii U, and so I won't open this up for quite some time actually. Not sure when, but PS4 was the right system to go for because this has a like PS4 Pro patch. This was Square Enix's game that they wanted to promote the PS4 Pro with. So when the PS4 Pro was announced, this was one of the games they showed because this was like their killer app at the time.
Sure,
I guess. So yeah, cool to have for the PS4. But like I said, it's not very high up on the list.
No.
But still a good price and a game I do want to play eventually.
Your approach to it is very interesting as well. How you said you bought it for very cheap, and then if you liked it, you would have bought the rest.
Much better because I think a lot of times you can pay a lot of money for a game with the DLC. And
I want to mention though,
yeah,
it's a very emulator kind of way of thinking there.
Oh really?
If you like the game, you'll pay money for it.
Well, yeah. I wish a lot more people would think like that, because I see a lot of people buying games day one and then get the season pass immediately without like trying out the game.
Well,
first.
I mean, you know why they're doing the season pass thing, right?
Yeah,
because they want money, and
of course.
They're relying on people doing that. They're expecting people to do it.
Yeah.
But if people were, would it be a smarter move for everybody to do this, or would it be a bad move? Like, would it be good for us not to give the developers money to?
No, for the company, and then eventually for the players, it's better, of course.
Is it? To not do it?
No, to do it.
Okay, yeah. So
obviously,
right. So why are we promoting this then? Why are we saying it's a good?
No, I don't know. It's just.
I mean, if you're smart, if you want to play smart, and you don't want
to play smart and maybe get more games with money.
We play hard mode here, so
always.
So yeah, okay, go ahead.
Next up is another game from you. So thanks a lot for this one, and this is Yooka-Laylee. I haven't played this because Persona 5, but this is like some of the next game I'm gonna play like really soon. Fire Emblem Echoes is coming up, but this is very high up on the list. And last night it got even higher on my list because I listened to Ultimate Floyd's impressions on this, and he's one of the guys that he's very skeptical and critical about games like me. So when he actually says something good about a game, I know it's quality right there. And usually I really agree with your opinions. So really looking forward to this even more than I did before. But before that, like I'm a huge fan of Banjo-Tooie and Donkey Kong 64. Kazooie, not so much.
All right.
But that's the thing, and hearing this is more similar to those games, that's great. And also, like, I always thought this looked good, and I still believe it does. And I'm hearing more and more people disagreeing with the initial reviewers. It got a lot of hate for some weird reasons.
This is typical internet drama. It's always gonna boil down to this.
So So while I haven't gotten into this yet, I just want to tell you all that take the drama, like you said, for what it is.
Yeah, take it lightly,
and not like criticism, because it's probably more hate than anything else.
Initially, games get attention, there's always the great divide between people hating and loving something, and it can be a bit distracting. But I feel like people should just play games for what they're worth. So usually now, what I do, I don't even look at internet discussions anymore, because there's no point in it. Yeah, if you're gonna talk to somebody about the game, you talk to somebody close to you, and you don't have to listen to all. I mean, while negative feedback is fun to listen to, and you maybe learn something from it, in the long run, what you play and what you enjoy is up to you, and you'll see it when you play the game. I personally, I love, think that I would play the game as well, but because I loved Banjo-Kazooie, and I loved all the older Rareware titles, but the reason why I'm not picking it up is because I know what kind of game it is, and right now I don't feel like playing that sort of game.
Yeah, that's the thing, you have to be in the mood too.
Right, and some people maybe are expecting more out of that kind of game as well, and so when they start playing it, they're getting confused, and they start saying random things that don't really apply to the game.
Yeah, there's that if you expect something, you might get disappointed.
Yeah.
And also, like I said, you have to be in the mood. And a lot of reviewers, they are never in the mood, because they get games thrown at them.
Yeah.
In the worst of situations. So.
Yeah, it's a very commercialized system, actually, because it's less about enjoying the game and more about judging the game. So when you start judging things, that's when you get all these really weird feedbacks. And I'm not gonna say that people aren't experts at commenting on games, but a lot of people who make commentaries on games are usually not the most fit for the role. So I mean, take it as one. Let's not get into this, but I mean, you see, like the whole reason why we even mention this is because there is such a big discussion about it.
It's not somebody who doesn't like it, but most people reviewed this badly,
harshly, and it's also because it's a Kickstarter game, so that it all plays together with that.
It's so wrong.
Yeah.
Really, but yes, very much looking forward to playing it. And the story, how I got it, is interesting too. I didn't buy this because I was waiting for the Switch version, but then you start talking about how you wanted to buy the game, but you probably wouldn't have time to play it right now.
No, just for support sakes as well.
And then on top of that, I said that, well, perhaps this is the version to get, because the Switch version might suffer from performance issues and stuff like that, and so why wait all these months if the game is gonna be better on PlayStation anyway?
You also mentioned that if there was ever a slight, chance that it would not be released on the Switch.
That too.
At least this game is released now here.
Yes. And we have this.
Yeah.
It works. Why not get it? Right.
I feel like you don't even have to go down memory lane to like this game. Just play it, and it's gonna be the type of game you played back in the day. You don't have to think about it being that, because
the real question is, do you want to play this? If you want to, do it.
Yeah,
that's probably it.
It boils down to that, I guess.
Yeah. So 2 more games to go. So we're soon done with this. But I think it's 2 very interesting ones. First up is Little Nightmares, and this is super short, I heard. So that's why I haven't played it yet. But this is probably a game I'm gonna play for the end of the month. I want to play this so I have it ready for my finished games of May. So this will be together with the other games I'm playing right now. But this is around 3 hours long, and it's one of those indie games. But it looks surprisingly good, and this reviewed very well. Like it got super high scores, probably like most indie games get, because they're so passionate. Yeah. They're made by people who really want to make a good game, and while they're not always able to do that, that's
they have the heart and the idea there. So.
And also this is a horror game with claymation.
Oh, that's even worse for you.
Can you?
You're too scared. Senke is so scared of claymation. Like just watching Wallace and Gromit makes him really scared.
Yes.
And so now he's gonna play a horror game with the claymation animation. It's gonna be terrible.
It made me so eager to get the game because I'm usually not scared with horror games.
Yeah.
They're more fun for me.
Right. Now
This could actually be the horror game for me.
Right, and if you get too scared, it's really short, so you don't have to worry about it.
That's good too, I guess. But I mean, the whole idea is that if this is actually scary because of that, then this could not just be a good game, but like my horror game of choice for me.
Your personal favorite.
I mean, like this could
game.
turn out to be like really up there for me. So very much looking forward to that.
Interesting. I see that game displayed a lot on televisions in town.
Right. Okay.
If you go to like Nepal, you'll see it there.
Huh.
Well, that's the only.
Well, like I said, it's very well reviewed, so that could be it.
Cool. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's made by the guys who made Limbo and Inside.
Oh well, that explains why. It's also a side-scroller, this game,
Yes.
right? Yeah. So
it has like a bit of 3D, but it's like Little Big Planet, so it's 2.5D.
Right.
Yes.
We're going back to that term, 2.5D.
Yeah, I guess you have to sometimes.
When did that first occur? 2.5D.
Paper Mario.
Is that 2.5D?
No, I don't know.
That's a mix of 2D and 3D, but
it's a side scroller. But you can go into.
Yeah, I know. But when was the first time we heard that?
I don't know, dude.
Do you want to bring this up now, or should we say?
No, let's move on. But that could be a topic for another time.
If somebody knows, put the comment in the comment section. All right.
Anyway, so let's just see real quick before I show you the last game. Was there anything I bought digitally this month? I believe there was something very important too. So let's see here. Yes, I did buy Shyness, the Lightning Kingdom on PS4, and Cosmic Star Heroine.
Right.
These two were released on the same day, I believe, and I pre-ordered both because, like I said, a lot of indie games try to be very good, and that's a reason enough to play them. Like, if they have the intentions of, or like a really high goal, you can usually see that.
Yeah.
And it's gonna shine through in some areas. Maybe the music is very good, or something in the game. But a lot of times they're like the full package is never as good as like non-indie games.
The vision that they're presenting. Yeah, sure.
But these games stood out really much to me. Cosmic Star Heroine looks like Phantasy Star 4. So it's like a 16-bit JRPG. And the music is really catchy as well. So that, and it's also like very cheap, 10 or 12 euros, somewhere around there. So I felt like giving this a shot. And Shyness it's a more expensive game. It's around 30, but this looks so promising. And I played this for around 10 hours. This was the game I played during like breaks from Persona. I did manage to play Persona for, like I said, 170 hours within a month, but I had to play something else every now and then. So that was Shyness, and I love the game, I really do. But it's a bit of a technical mess. It's very glitchy, but I mean, there's a lot of heart in the game, and I want to show you the game someday.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. I've only seen trailers.
Cool. It's like it feels a bit like Donkey Kong 64 running around.
Okay.
Because you have this like Metroid Prime way of unlocking parts of the world.
Oh, that's really cool.
But when you encounter an enemy, the camera changes and you're playing like this Ultimate Ninja Storm battle.
All right.
Yes.
And you can see if they got inspiration from that, because the whole graphical design of the game looks very much like
for sure
Ninja Storm games.
So it's like hearing these two parts of the game. Might you think of like Okami? Because that's a bit of like open.
Yeah, and then you go into like a battle.
Yeah. So.
All right, but is it an RPG?
Yes. When you defeat the enemies, the camera goes back, but you also get the HUD for like your experience points and money and everything.
Interesting.
So yes, you can grind in this game.
All right.
You can buy new equipment and stuff. So
cool, really cool.
Yeah, it's a real cool game. I want to talk more about it when I finish it. I definitely want to, because I think it needs more, like mentioning. I haven't heard anybody talk about it.
Everybody talks about ukulele, but nobody talks about the game that people. Well, look now. I'm making it sound like ukulele doesn't have any heart put into it.
No,
but it's a way smaller studio with there's no sound about it, and also the same thing with Cosmic Star Heroine. I don't think too many people mention it.
No,
might deserve a chance to get some recognition.
Yeah, and that's why I want to mention both, because nobody does, and that's why I felt like before I remembered what games, all I knew was that there was 2 very important games I did buy digitally.
Yeah.
So there's that. So let's finish this, and that's with yes, just another game I got from you, and this is another game for the Tales collection, Tales of Systeria, the Japanese copy. This is a game I imported for PlayStation 3 and played fully in Japanese. I beat the game and everything. I thought it was great. I rebought it in English on the PS4 and played through that version. So I finished this twice, and it's a game I really like. The soundtrack is one of the best in the entire series. And now it got this anime as well. Right. That's supposed to be even better than the game. So the hype for Systeria is very high, and it just so happened to get a Japanese release on PS4 eventually.
Very strange way to do it too.
Yes, it wasn't released on PS4 when we got it.
Right.
But then I don't think even the console was released then. Because they got the PS4 later. It could have been released, but the thing is, so they did get this welcome prize edition right away. This is how they got the game.
This is the only way to get this on the PS4 in Japan.
Yes.
You can't get like the really pretty regular edition boxes.
No,
for this one.
but I have that twice already, so I don't mind. And this has like the yellow spine. So I guess this is a thing for the PS4. It's pretty interesting because over here we do not have these like budget PS4 games.
We don't. And this is the first instance of
yes, and the US doesn't either. So this is the first time I saw like
very strange.
a welcome prize thing, and to like get one of those games and also a game for the Tales collection that I do not have. I thought this was like super cool, and I want you to play it eventually. But
you have the copy. I'll play it when the time comes.
Sure, that's perfect.
But I'm pretty interested now that you talk about it, because you really like this box, or you wanted the game. One of the reasons was the box and the weird art and the welcome prize thing. Is there any other Japanese games that have the welcome prize logo on it?
For the PS4?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen any.
So this is
this could
one-off thing.
If it's not the only one, it's I guess the first at least. So
it's very interesting to say the least. But for the collection, I think you deserved it. And I bought like a lot of games from PlayAsia at the same time, and I got a lot of PS4 games. That's when I picked up my first PS4, and I wanted to get a few games. So I got a bunch of games for myself, and I figured I should buy this for myself, but it's very hard when your best friend has this big Tales collection, and you know he's collecting. Like, there's no point with you owning it. So I figured, all right, I should just give it to you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. You're also kind, but it makes sense.
When
you say it like that.
Yeah, and also it's a welcome prize edition, so my price was very welcome, and it didn't cost too much.
Thank you.
So no problem.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Is there anything else to say? I guess that's it.
You had the Breath of the Wild Japanese one as well.
Yes.
But that's not worth mentioning, maybe.
That's actually something I got this month. So I will show you that next time.
Right, that's just a preview.
I don't have it around, so but next time for sure. Something to look forward to, cool. I guess. And another reason to actually talk about that game again. So good.
Yeah. All right, sweet. If I ever get something new, I might be able to show it off. But for now, I don't have anything too particular. I could show off some PS4 games, but if that ever comes, it'll come.
You could do a pickup for the year, I guess.
oh, if you want me to do a pickup for the year, then you're gonna prepare for a 5 hour long video. It's gonna be too long, but I'll see what I can do. If people are interested enough, I'll try to make something. So let us know in the comment section below.
I'm happy to hear that.
Right, cool.
Yeah,
anyway, I was happy
so.
to be here to listen to your pickups. Sorry if I didn't say enough things about
you
the
said
games.
a lot of good things. I have to say. At first, the idea was interesting because I didn't know if
It would work.
what it would turn out to be. But this was a good episode. Great. Thank you very much.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be listening, and I'm glad. It's weird because it's like I'm having two parts in this. It's like I'm in the video, and I'm also one of you guys who's listening into this.
That's another thought of mine actually. Before we recorded.
All right, pretty scary. I guess I'm just happy being here. I guess.
Yeah. Thanks
anyway,
for joining
guys.
me. And as always, until next time.
Get gaming.